Hello everybody and welcome back to our little farming adventure. Now you can see some area kind of cleared behind me. You can see some cleared area over here. We've got a lot to do today. I need to catch up with where I wanted to be by this episode, which means I'm going to be doing multiple projects today. I need to get the tea shop up somewhere over here. I haven't quite figured out where I want it. I know the garden, I wanted to cascade down from this one down into another garden here. I need to get the blacksmith in place, which is going to be right here. And then I need to get candlelight working over here, which is going to be a kitchen. And then an actual like small restaurant hangout area. You can see where I have the step up over here for it. But we have got to get all of that worked on today. I'm going to start with the small tea garden. And, well, slash coffee bean garden. There needs to be two of them over here. They're just going to be on the smaller side. I'm not going to do anything too massive with those. Because it's mainly just the tea shop is working to produce their own stuff. And one of the other gardens can pick up after that. And then I'm going to start with this as well. Because these two areas are kind of already plotted out. So I'm going to start with them. And then we're going to work our way into the actual other two buildings. Okay. I've had kind of an idea with this. In some areas, Japan specifically, I think it is, they use charring of wood to keep it from burning, which is essentially just a controlled burn method. They, during the construction, will burn some parts of the wood to give it that char on the outside of it, so it is more fire resistant and I think more weathering resistant. Don't remember exactly their reason, but the fire resistance is the thing I'm mainly keen on because a lot of my area is built out of wood. So if I do anything very heavy stone, it kind of looks out of place. So to make up for the fact that this is actually going to be a forge area, I'm going to use ebony, which kind of looks like an oak that's been burned. Or at least that's the aesthetic I'm wanting it to give off. So it looks kind of like oak wood that's just been burned. Okay, and this is what I was talking about. Where the ebony, these beams, actually look kind of like it's just singed wood. And that helps with the blending process of this area's kind of been on fire a little bit. Due to the fact of this is a forge area, this is going to be an area where there's going to be some magma. There's going to be, well, mainly the main furnace bit is going to be right here out the front of the building. This is where the magma is going to sit back in here. Well, technically the magma itself is going to be sitting right here. And this area is going to be kind of indented. And this is just going to kind of be where the forge itself sits. I do not. I have plenty of lava, though. Because I don't want to bring actual lava into this. As much as it would be a great sound, I build mainly out of wood, and I don't know if fire tick is on. So, we're going to go for magma blocks as the main thing. Okay. A little bit of a break in the video because I was coming after magma blocks and got distracted by the fact that the cities have 10 times more loot in them now. Give me just a second to get back to the overworld. Okay. I'm probably going to show this off, or I may even show me running through the nether, but I did get my magma blocks. I also now have Cincinnite forges. I have 6 blocks of netherite. Meaning, next time I go into the nether, I need to try and I need to make an attempt to go through the bastions. Because those typically have netherite upgrade things. This is actually a fire ruby upgrade, which gives you fire ruby gear. Which, kind of good. It's a little bit better than diamond. But I'm about to be upgrading to netherite, so not really sure. It's good to have in mind for now. Well, I don't plan on keeping the stuff around, but This is good to keep in mind for better Minecraft, but because I'll get to it in a second. Because better Minecraft actually, I think, uses this upgraded version. So I'll end up having those, or I have that in mind whenever I go to do this next. Okay, back to the actual task at hand, which I was just trying to get magma blocks for this. So I can do some forge stuff. Okay, now this building's going to be a little bit different. Off to the side here, I'm actually going to have the staircase that goes up to the second story. She's going to sit about here. And I kind of actually want to double layer the stairs whenever I do this. And then I'm going to do probably a stair and some slabs instead of this. Just so I can do that. But this is where the door is going to end up being. It is right here. And then this is going to open up into all of this. Okay. A little bit of a change. Instead of the stone that I was going to do, I decided to use brick. I think it looks a bit better. I'm going to end up turning it into like a little bit of a smokestack coming off the building. Because the roof on this building is going to go this way. So the smokestack's going to be able to actually peek out a little bit. Also, the area around this has a bit more of the burning than if you were to go around this side, which has a little bit less, and the back, which has a lot less. And that's because the burn wouldn't be completely even all around the building. It'd be mainly focused up here, because this is where the forge is, and in this area, because this is where all the hot stuff ends up going. So I just feel like it'd probably be there, if anywhere. And also the stone is going to come forward a little bit, and then it's going to fade off into the normal, like, coarse dirt and stuff like that. And this is going to be kind of a little well area. I'm going to say, I don't want to put a fountain, but I know a well, like the one I have over here, where it's a little 2-block well. Hold on. I have this little thing over here. I feel like I could put another one of these over there and it would make a bit of sense, because it's right next to the forge. If something catches fire, they'll need it. And there's also going to be more gardens over this way. So I feel like this little center spot, it makes sense. It's not so big where it's like this one where I have no clue what to do with it. It's a little bit on the smaller side. Okay, and there we go. Exteriorly, the building is done. Now I am going to be turning this into a bit of a workstation. This will eventually have little fence pieces on it, along with a few more here, just to block it off from the pathway that's going to end up being here. It's going to match back up with this one that's going to go into the main area. And then this little workstation is going to continue back here. I want to build up some more leaves on this incline, just so we can have like a little bit of a workstation back here, like maybe a sharpening area or something of that nature. Because I mean, although I mean those things still give off sparks and stuff like that. I don't know what we'll have back here. Maybe we'll have a wood carving area or something of that nature. Maybe leather working. Maybe leather working can go back there, because that stuff has to dry out and stuff like that anyway. Okay, and then up here, the interior is basically done. I have a little area for their sleeping quarters. I want to have 3 up here, because I think I have 3 of them, and then their workstations are going to be in here. This is just so I can trade to them without them having to go anywhere. Give me another one of these. Do this. And I've said this before, but this just keeps them from leaving. Doesn't mess with me walking in or out or anything. Just keeps them from disappearing. I will move the villagers in between episodes, because that is not the main focus for today. Today's main focus is getting the buildings in place. The small details I can do and explain to y'all in another episode, because they are tiny and take like 5 seconds to do. but it's 5 seconds. I don't really have because I'm spending so much time putting up these massive buildings. Now, next step is getting the garden in place. Now, there's two main things. Oh, wrong click. There's two main things we need for the teas. We need the teas, of course. And then I think coffee is also a part of that. I don't actually know where the coffee beans are from. But they're going to be a part of it. There's also tea blossoms here. So these are the other two little gardens we're going to be putting in. Also, you can see I have a buttload of moss. We may end up using moss as like a flick in with some things. Also, I want to take like a portion of these, throw it in here, and then go with the white flowers. Because I've been using those as a little, basically a little texturing bit. You can see I have a few of them down there. They just kind of add a different color to everything. Just helps. Okay, and there we go. Now, I don't have a complete seeds in order to get all of these going. Tea blossoms are in this one, and coffee beans are in this one. I don't have very large gardens for either one of them, because there's not a whole lot you can really do with this mod. Besides, of course, making the teas. So I don't have, like, massive areas dedicated to these. I'm just kind of doing some smaller garden spaces. Keep misplacing leaves. There we go. And I've done some building up of the leaves along this back wall. I'm probably going to do a bit more, maybe a fence or something. But I think I'm going to have like this kind of veer off in a coarse dirt back here just so it doesn't look completely out of place. And I think I've come to the decision that, yeah, I'm going to turn this into a leather working area because it's kind of the only thing that can be surrounded by flora and not catch on fire. Next bit to this is actually going to be the small tea shop, which is going to be a very tiny building. And I think I'm going to have a cleric in there with it just to give it some sort of reason. Well, I don't really need to have it with a reason. I can always do another building to give it a reason. Okay, and here we go. Now I am going to come through, and after I get this pathway figured out, I'm going to convert a little bit of this side into being some exterior seating because there's not a whole lot of room inside the building. The building itself is tiny. It's kind of just smushed against the hill right here, which is eventually going to be where our, gosh, which building was it? It was not Candlelight. Which one was it? Was it Meadow? Yeah, I think that's where our bakery was going to be. Which is going to be up here. Which tea and coffee with baked goods typically go together, so having these buildings right next to each other is actually kind of a good call. People would go shopping for baked goods and then come down here probably to eat and sit and chat. So I'm going to have some seating over here, probably a little bit over here as well. Just as the tea shop's probably going to branch across more exteriorly across the path. That way people can go over here to all of these. Also, I don't remember when these are fully grown. Do I have to break them? I do. Completely forgot what they look like when they're grown. But there we go. I also have... Well, first of all, I'm going to turn this into an actual tea shop. So there's going to be a little counter right here that's going to block people's paths, and there's probably going to be like a little gate to get back here. And then the actual like tea area is going to be right here. Probably with a cupboard here. And then just some branching stuff for storage. And probably like a small table right here. just for some interior stuff, for like when it's raining and stuff like that. And then there is a tiny little greenhouse off to the side. I plan on putting in like 2 botany pots in here because I only really need 2, one for coffee and one for tea. And then I have a small little outdoor garden where I could probably put like more aesthetic stuff like flowers or something that they would mix with it, because there is the hibiscus and the lavender, which are both flowers that you find just out in the world. I've found both of them. I have only very few of them. I don't know if I can duplicate those. I'm going to see if I can. I really hope I can use botany pots to duplicate those, but I don't think I can. And I know I can't use bone meal to do it either. But sadly, this is where this video is going to have to end. I didn't get as much stuff done. I did end up going, like, just exploring through the nether for a little bit, which was kind of my bad. I got very distracted, but I did get both the buildings that I primarily wanted up. So the tea shop and the blacksmith building are both up, along with the gardens that I wanted to do for the tea shop in particular. So these are now up. Next episode, we're going to be working on some very heavy decoration. I'm going to show you guys how I decorate the paths and how I just do general decorating around. And then probably towards the end of that video, we'll do the candlelight building, just so we can go ahead and get that building up. It's going to be up against here. Maybe like a small path in between these two, like a small little stone path. Maybe a little outdoor dining area where you can look into this greenhouse. But that's where candlelight is going to go. Then I have my blacksmith building, the tea shop. Bakery's going to be up here. I still have to level this down to here. So this thing's going to be coming down like 4 levels. I've been slowly working on the terraforming. It's just taking a bit. But next episode, we're going to be working on getting both this building and this building decorated. Interiorly and exteriorly. So we'll see what I can find out about that one. I will be doing more research on this mod, because I find this mod to actually be pretty cool. What did I say about stepping on the magma blocks? It's a bad idea. Either way, I'm going to end this video before something tries to throw itself onto the magma blocks. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.